How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards in trading, whether price is going up or down. Greyscale Bitcoin ETF, big question over amended filing. So pretty much they amended their filing. They failed to mention who their AP is. They just had some blanks where their names of the AP should be. Not sure why, since the SEC wants to see it, says Eric Bacalanis. As highlighted by Bacalanis, Greyscale CEO Michael Sorston had recently asserted that the firm had authorized participants lined up since 2017. However, the authorized participants in question were Credit Suisse and KCG Americas. These were named for the firm's Bitcoin Trust, not its proposed ETF. The firm had also announced agreements with Virtue and Jane Street in June 2022. These firms were also not listed. So Bacalanis says that this may be what makes them not likely to get approved with everyone else if they do get approved by January 10th. Van Buren Capital General Partner Scott Johnson says that that may not be the case, as this isn't a requirement at this point. So them failing to fill out this portion of their filing does not necessarily hinder them. Crypto transactions over 10,000 face stricter IRS scrutiny under new U.S. rules. So in 2024, the IRS will enforce new regulations requiring detailed reporting of digital asset transactions exceeding $10,000. The legislation highlights crypto exchanges and custodians, mandating them to report transactions above the specified threshold. These entities must furnish the IRS with the sender's name, address, social security number within a 15-day window, so keep that in mind real quick. One of the critical areas of ambiguity revolves around cryptocurrency miners and validators when these initials receive block rewards that are more than $10,000. Whose information are they supposed to report? Moreover, the challenge extends to decentralized exchanges where the identifying information by the other party may be inherently complex to get to. It also causes problems for any anonymous donations. For instance, when an entity receives Bitcoin and Ethereum through some random wallet, and you do not know who sent you that, how are you going to report their information if you don't know who sent you that random cryptocurrency? Over on the Dixie today, we are trying to break this green Fibonacci retracement zone. If you are unsure what a Fibonacci retracement zone is, visit our Trading Basics playlist and visit the Fibonacci retracement area. That'll also show you how to get this golden pocket and explain what that's about. Stochastic is trying to push forward. That's this blue line with the orange. When blue is above orange, we do have bullish momentum. When orange is above blue, the bears do have control, and we're above 30, so we do have bullish strength overall, meaning we could go up still. That is good for our RSI, the red line, which is a relative strength index that is based off the last 14 candles. If the stochastic keeps pushing forward, our RSI is likely going to do the same. Now for the other three parts of this indicator, real quick, if you want this indicator, this is Market Cipher B we are covering right now. Market Cipher A is these EMA bands that you see on the chart. If you want those EMA bands like mine, you'll need to change your color to as follows. It'll be 70% opacity. Your inputs will be as following, and then your lines will look just like mine. Now we do have this green EMA curling up toward the blue EMA. If our green EMA can get above the blue EMA, then it's possible we could continue forward. This also shows how when you are below an EMA band, our lowest band, for quite some time, you are likely going to retrace above it. Right here, we were below for quite a few days in a row, and then we snapped above it. Right back here, we were below it, snapped above it. We did end up rolling away, as the green EMA was not able to break through that blue EMA. So if the green EMA gets rejected here again, we will see a continued move to the downside. This could be a bit of a descending channel though, so I would keep an eye on that, as descending channels are bullish patterns. Granted, that wouldn't necessarily take you much higher than we are today. That would be a fight for this 102 resistance area. Now, back to this indicator here, Market Cipher B. We covered the stochastic and RSI alright. we have our VWAP, our yellow wave, that is pushing forward into bullish territory. That is good for us, suggesting that medium, low to medium term, we are seeing buying pressure. Our momentum wave is the medium to high term. We are getting a double green dot here. When we have that double green dot and the VWAP carries forward, that suggests that the momentum wave does want to break toward the bullish territory like it tried back here. That is good, because if the momentum wave can push into bullish territory and push forward, then we will have more bullish momentum, meaning price action can start going up, and then our money flow, which is currently red, will push above this neutral, this zero line. For these three, their neutral is zero. When they're above zero, they're bullish. When they're below zero, they're bearish. But if the money flow breaks above this neutral zero area, we will see it turn green. And then that will show that the bulls have control overall, and we can see a push forward that could continue and be sustained. Over on the total, if you get a push forward and your money flow is in the bearish territory like right now, that is a suggestion that it may not be a sustained push forward. That's why it's important to watch this indicator. I don't feel like many people are watching it. They're watching more of these EMA bands than anything else, which the EMA bands are great because they give you support resistance between support resistance, but you want to use more than one thing to trade with. Over on the total for the daily, we did push up to the top of our pattern, and we are currently coming back down. If we are not able to push forward, it is very likely we will see further downside and see this pattern play out, meaning all of our altcoins besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. Remember, this is total 3, which is all altcoins besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are not included. Their market cap put together. We could see their market cap decline, which would result in their price action declining, much like we saw from Graph and Algo today. They suffered probably the most losses we saw overall. I'm just flipping around here on accident. So over on the daily, RSI is coming down, stochastic's pushing down, momentum's pushing down, we have a red dot, VWAP is pushing under that neutral into that bearish territory, and the money flow does want to come down. So if the momentum keeps coming down from here, it's very likely we will see the bears gain control and our money flow will start to come out. We do currently have a lower high on our VWAP. If we come down, make consistent or lower lows, then the bears will start to gain control. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are trying to push above the value area high, but we are starting to retrace a bit as we did get several green candles in a row. This is a pretty decent retracement, so I would watch for a pullback here where we break the value area high or at least test it. If we bounce off the value area high from here, we will see continued price action forward. However, if we break through on that retest, the bears will remain in control and we can see lower price action, as that would mean people are selling Bitcoin for stable coins or altcoins, or possibly dollars, as the dollar is ramping up. Stochastic does want to push forward, RSI is trying to push up, VWAP's trying to push forward, money flow is slightly in that bullish territory, and the momentum is coming up. If the VWAP can continue from here, our momentum will push forward and the money flow will continue up, resulting in dominance increasing. So I would watch for the money flow to sustain green or the VWAP to favor bullishly if we're going to break away from the value area high. If our VWAP and money flows start looking weak and bearish, and we struggle to stay above the value area high, it's very likely the bears will push us down. Over on Bitcoin futures, we did get our full breakout with this candle wick, so I am going to delete this pattern now because I'm not going to count on it playing out again. We do have a gap to the bottom or below us. We have two gaps locally that we could still fill, but we are also making that push to fill that 50k gap. If you're unfamiliar with where this gap comes from, it comes from the bull market breakdown. So we are retesting the lows of the bull market, if you will. RSI wants to come down, momentum wants to roll away, stochastic's pushing forward, VWAP wants to push forward, and the money flow is trying to come down. So if the VWAP rolls away here, momentum will push down and the money flow could flip bearishly, and we could see futures start to decline, which would result in Bitcoin declining because futures does dictate Bitcoin price. We also have a upper shadow candle showing that bulls tried to push us up, but they were not able to sustain a very strong push. The bears kind of stepped in, represented by these volume bars on our fixed range volume profile. The fixed range volume profile, we kind of tried to cover that in the total. If you didn't catch what that's all about, when you have your value area high, your red line, your point of control, your blue line, your value area low, which is your green line. When you see green candles pushing above one of these ranges, you're likely going to leave your range. We actually have a decent example here. I'll make... Oh, that is not what I wanted. I want my fixed range volume profile. I'm going to click from the start of the breakup to current price action, and it'll continue to propagate sideways. So, when you set red candles above this, more red than green, there is likelihood of coming down and breaking it. But when you start to set more green candles than red, you do tend to leave the area and push forward, possibly creating a new volume profile range. If you break this value area high, you will continue forward, make a new value profile range as you trade sideways, make some consolidation, maybe lose a little bit, then pump forward again. You'll get your point of control, you come down. If you break this value area high, you will come down to your point of control. If you cannot get green candles at that point, you will break through, hit your value area low. The point of control can be anywhere between the value area high and value area low. It's kind of where the most volume is in that range. If you can set red candles below these zones, so if we set red candles below this value area low here, we would come back into our previous range, try to break this previous value area high, at which point if we set more red candles, we would have a potential move toward the point of control of that fixed range volume profile. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we have a little bit of a move down. We'll have to show what became of that, but stochastic's pushing forward. RSI wants to roll away. VWAP's coming down. Momentum has overall bearish divergence as price action's pushing forward and momentum is pushing down. Our momentum is pushing forward, but with the VWAP starting to round away, the momentum would be in jeopardy of pushing down. If you just saw the RSI got a red dot, that red dot would suggest that the RSI does want to cool off, kind of like back here. If that happens, we may see a bit of a sell-off, like back here, which would be a rejection of our value area high, and that could push us to our value area low. Over on the 4 hours, stochastics overall pushing down with the orange above blue. RSI's coming down, money flow's coming out, VWAP's in bearish territory, starting to carry some weight. If it sharply corrects down, we could see a real big decline in price action. Over on the 2 hour, we do have this kind of break up. This was not called out on the Discord or anything, but this was a descending channel. It is from the 1 hour, a little better to see there. We could technically still try to push up, but this wick may be the full push up. If we're not able to leave this range bullishly from here, it's very likely we will roll away and invalidate it. But back to the 2 hour TA. RSI is heading down, stochastic is crashing, momentum is falling, and the VWAP's in bearish territory. Money flow is pretty flat, so if the VWAP cannot regain bullish momentum, we're likely going to see momentum continue down, and the money flow will continue out. Over on the 1 hour, we are getting a bit of a rejection after trying to break through this pattern. This is a long upper shadow candle, so if we close a long upper shadow candle, that would show bulls tried to push us forward. They were unsuccessful, bears stepped in, and we could have a drop to the downside coming, invalidating bullish momentum. RSI is coming down, momentum's in the bearish territory, VWAP is favoring bearish territory, it's kind of all over the place, but it's not really peeking into bullish territory. If we see the VWAP reject bullish momentum here, we could see the bears break us down, as that money flow really doesn't have much holding it in the bullish territory currently. If the momentum continues down and VWAP continues down from here, money flow is likely going to break. Over on graph for the daily, we are rejecting an attempt to break out of this pattern. We do have a rising channel. Rising channels are bearish patterns, so if we continue to see bearish momentum from here, it is likely we may see a breakdown. Momentum is overall making bearish divergence. Stochastic has bearish divergence that is created when your price action is going up and your oscillator is going down. VWAP is rolling over, money flow is coming down, RSI is coming down, stochastic's rounding, so overall we do look like we may start to see a sell-off from here. Over on the 4 hour, we are starting to consolidate after breaking down. This could create a bear flag, which would end up breaking us down. Consolidation is where you get a sideways channel and you don't really do much. Your flag would be from your top to your bottom, from your break up to your push down. So that could push us down to around 19,477 if we are not careful. We would possibly see some more chops sideways, technically before this flag would play out. Stochastic's coming down, RSI's coming down, momentum's pushing out, money flow wants to break bearish, and the VWAP is in the bearish territory. If the VWAP continues to maintain bearish momentum here, then we will see momentum continue down, weakening money flow, which will represent people selling off. Over on the 2 hour, you can see this is technically our second touch to the bottom, so we may make another push up, then get another rejection, at which point we would be able to break down from there, as typically you get 3 or more touches to the bottom before you see the flag break down. RSI is overall coming down, momentum's pushing out, stochastic has bearish divergence, money flow is riding on thin ice. The VWAP does want to round away here, so if the VWAP picks up some bearish strength here, we will see momentum and VWAP pull under, which will result in the money flow breaking to the bearish side. Over on the 1 hour, you can see we're struggling here with this upper shadow. If I can get my thing to move right, there we go. We're struggling with this upper shadow candle, so if we close a long upper shadow candle, that would show buyers tried to push us up, they were unsuccessful, and the sellers are stepping in and leading price action. RSI wants to come down, stochastic wants to round away, it's overall struggling to gain bullish momentum, so the RSI is likely going to continue down from here. Momentum is heavy in the bearish territory, and the VWAP is struggling to maintain bullish strength. If the VWAP rolls over and breaks bearishly here, we're likely going to see money flow follow, and then the bears will have control, and we will see that flag play out and drop us down. Over on Ankr for the daily, we are in a pretty similar situation as everything else, where we push to the top of our pattern, and we are seeing a rejection with a long upper shadow. RSI is coming down, money flow is coming out, stochastic's pushing forward, VWAP is struggling, so if the VWAP breaks into the bearish territory here, the momentum's likely going to break as well, and then the money flow would break next, signaling price action to come down. So we could see that fill to 22.96. Stochastic is pushing out, RSI is coming down, momentum is rounding away with the red dot as that VWAP did break bearishly. Money flow is overall pushing out, so if the stochastic continues down and VWAP favors bearish territory from here, we're likely going to see money flow break bearishly, and then this gain up that we got will be retraced. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a manipulation X that does want to bring us down, and we are doing some consolidation. So this consolidation could make a bear flag within this pattern that could end up breaking us down. Stochastic's coming down, RSI's coming down, momentum's in the bearish territory, VWAP's bearish, is trying to break through that neutral, but it's rounding. If the VWAP rounds away here, we will see the bears take over. Money flow is in bullish territory, but if the VWAP and momentum continue to fall here, that money flow will start to fall as well. Over on the 1 hour, money flow is struggling to maintain bullish momentum, stochastic's pushing forward, RSI's overall pushing down. We are trying to get a bit of a push up, but it's starting to get exhausted, so exercise caution. If stochastic cannot break above 30, then the RSI is going to continue down. VWAP is in the bullish territory, but we are making a pretty new high. Zoom in, real hard to see. We are starting to round here. If we continue this round and come down, we will see a rejection, a similar high, and then we can get bearish favor by breaking into the bearish territory, and getting continued lows and not coming back up, much like back here. If we see this kind of scenario play out over here, like we dip off, then see bearish momentum, then the bears are going to break us into bearish territory. Over on XRP for the daily, we have a manipulation X as we tried to break out of our pattern bullishly, and we got rejected much like everything else. RSI's coming down, stochastic's coming down. It does want to bounce here though, so that is a positive sign for us as we are trying to see some bit of a bounce above that point of control. Money flows overall coming down, momentum's pushing out, and the VWAP is struggling to maintain bullish strength. If the VWAP breaks here, we'll see momentum push out, and then money flow will likely start to break down as well. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we have that reversal arrow. That reversal arrow is bringing us down. Stochastic's pushing out, RSI's pushing down, momentum is rounding away, money flow's starting to come down, and the VWAP is in the bearish territory. If we cannot sustain some bullish pressure above these EMAs, it's very likely we're going to break through them to the bearish side. Over on the 2 hour, we do have a manipulation X. RSI is heading down, stochastic's beat down, starting to curl away from that 22. So we were not able to get a bullish cross. If the stochastic continues down, RSI is going to continue down, and that will suggest that the next 14 candles could start to trend down. VWAP is rolling away from neutral, momentum's pushing into bearish territory, and the money flow is pretty flat here overall. If the VWAP and momentum break here, then the money flow is likely going to start to pick up bearish momentum. Over on the 1 hour, we are getting that consolidation after that breakdown, so watch out for that bear flag here as well. RSI is coming down, money flow is coming out. VWAP is starting to reject into bearish territory after getting a lower high, so if we get consistent lows and favor bearish territory here, we will see the bears take control over the 1 hour and potentially see this pattern play out. Momentum does want to round away with a red dot as that VWAP did break bearish. Stochastic wants to push lower, so the RSI would be in jeopardy of pushing down, and the VWAP is starting to favor bearish territory. So just exercise caution here. Over on ALGO for the daily here, we are continuing the trend of the day, rejecting the top of our pattern. RSI is coming down, momentum's pushing out with the red dot. VWAP's breaking into the bearish territory, and the stochastic wants to roll away. Money flow wants to come down, so overall the daily does not look too positive, and we stopped just shy of that 25 cents that we kept telling you we could try to hit. Over on the 4 hour, we have manipulation X that wants to bring us down. Stochastic is pushing down, RSI is coming out, momentum is rolling away with that red dot playing out as that VWAP is favoring bearish territory. If the VWAP continues to favor the bearish territory here, we're likely going to invalidate the bull flag and push lower, much like we've been suggesting. Over on the 2 hour, we do have this manipulation X. It's not really taking us too far, but watch out because we had this indecision and then a big drop. So we could see indecision, big drop, and then that could set a precedent for that to be a kind of pattern that may play out again. Stochastic's coming down, it's pretty beat down. RSI's coming out. VWAP's favoring bearish territory. Momentum's coming down, so the money flow is in jeopardy of pushing lower here. If the VWAP continues to favor bearish territory, momentum's going to continue down, which will weaken our money flow, which will result in price action pushing lower. Over on the 1 hour, we are trying to bounce off this 300-hour EMA currently. Remember, it's representative of what time frame you're on. So if we're on the daily, it's 300 days, but if we're on the hourly, it's 300 hours. It's 300 of what time frame you're on, candles. RSI is coming down, stochastic's pretty beat down. It does look like it wants to curl away here, so we could see the bears continue to take hold of that stochastic. Money flow is overall coming down. VWAP is in the bullish territory, but it's struggling. If the VWAP breaks to the bearish side here, we will see bearish favor, and that will suggest that the 1 hour could break down. We do have a bit of a chop, then a break, then a chop, so we could see another break if we're not careful. We do also have potential for this to be a slight bull flag that could try to push us up and retrace these losses as well, so I would watch. If the VWAP can sustain bullish momentum, we will see bullish action. However, if our VWAP breaks bearishly, we will see the bears gain control. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.